There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Tonight, Jesus is Charlie's savior and his sponsor. And Canada, oh Canada, batten down the hatches because Hurricane Lilith is on her way pretty soon. And I'm still here. You haven't killed me yet over time, and you won't. Capes and Lunatics starts right now. Hello and welcome to the Capes and Lunatics. That's right. I'm here. I'm alive. It's me, Phil. Drinking her, mystery beverage is, it's in that cup.
It's Lilith Hellfire, y'all, and I'm Pooh Bear today. It's honey. Sweet, sweet golden mead and honey.
There you go.
And making his triumphant return is...
Charlie, the Professor Essa. Hello. Yeah.
And if you want his Black Panther thoughts, go check out Super Connectivity episode 173.
Never mind the small fanboy nitpick. First of all, sir, how dare you? I did watch.
Oh. You know what? And I admit it's a small fanboy nitpick, but you know what? You have these. And for what it's worth, what I will say is that what I loved about Black Panther was that they led you right down that Primrose fanboy path and then pulled the rug right out from under you, and it was beautiful when they did so. You know, like I said, the whole setup of Claw and then Claw's final fate, and you're like, oh, you totally have me thinking you were going there, and then you went somewhere else. Bravo, good sirs and ladies. Bravo.
And be sure to read Who is the Black Panther. Pick it up. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever, cheaper. Just don't pay $600. Unless you give Jesse J. Holland the money, and he'll autograph it for you.
Oh, nice. Plugging our interview this week. That's right.
Queen of the segues. Queen of the segues. And shameless promotions.
Yes.
So what is even to talk about this week besides Black Panther?
Well,
which we talked about enough, Phil. It's Black History Month. They get it, Philip.
Hey, you're the one who segued, but I know. Well, there's some news, but the only show that was on new, at least for me, was did anyone watch Legends of Tomorrow this week?
I cannot get in Channel 11 right now.
I know. Lilith, did you see it?
It's on my DVR. Monday was hectic.
Kind
it's
of
a bad night.
Kind of the whole time loop thing, although there's a twist to it. And then like the last minute of the episode, they show Rip Hunter's escaped his imprisonment, and guess who he goes to recruit at the end of the episode in like the last minute?
Who?
Wally West.
Yes.
Oh, that's how they're bringing them in. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if
time traveler.
And I don't know if it's this week coming up, but that maybe the week after. Yeah, I think that's the episode they said he's supposed to be on.
Yeah, okay, I guess I have to support that episode. So.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that they need to have a speedster on the show. And it's either Wally or Iris. And
Iris is busy.
Oh, that was the other news. We got the picture of Iris in her super suit.
Like a month ago. Y'all late. Y'all need to get on.
No, I know you mentioned it, but I mean, it was like someone taking like a, on set picture. This was like,
and it looked better than that promo.
so is this
you need to get it together? The interns need to update Photoshop skills. I'm just saying.
So are these like are these like pregnancy-induced superpowers?
We don't know yet.
And we don't care.
Well, maybe because they showed that Joe's woman Cecile, she is pregnant, and they gave her telepathy. So I mean, I don't know.
Well, is it that everybody got hit by the dark matter, so everybody can still potentially be a metahuman, even if they don't have the metahuman gene?
Is it something the Thinker's doing?
The Thinker's getting on my nerves.
Why? Because he jumped into his third body, this time a short blonde woman. Well, at least it's coming back this week, finally.
Is it?
Yeah, Tuesday's coming back.
That means Arrow's coming back. Okay.
I like you watch it anymore anyway, and you don't just look at Reddit or whatever.
My Reddit notifications are just gonna explode. That I'm preparing.
Oh, but I want to see the disgusted look on Lilith's face. Yeah, they said Iris is going to be in the suit on the March 13th episode. Did you see the title of it?
What is it?
Run, Iris, run.
Is not Felicity. You cannot try to write all your because this is my problem with Supergirl. Then the first season specifically, Kara was basically Felicity with superpowers. She was the wacky sidekick that was actually the hero that I wasn't feeling. So you cannot turn Iris West into Felicity. Do not do this to me, Flash. Don't do this.
She has spoken.
I already have a hard time defending West Allen on the blogs and on the forums because she really is getting to Felicity proportions of a. Poor Candace Patton.
I know. I think she's a great actress. They just need to give her.
They just don't care about their female characters in the Arrowverse.
So is that when are they going to reveal maybe if she is pregnant? I guess that's when they'll reveal it because they'll be like, where did these powers come from?
They didn't already establish that? Or okay.
Yeah.
They haven't said yet.
That was what Phil said because when they were talking at Super Speed, Phil said you thought that was going to be the reveal, but it was like, no, yeah, okay. I don't know.
And then there's that mysterious girl. Could it be their daughter or granddaughter? So.
Yeah.
Or at this point, her half sister.
Oh, jeez! Don't give them ideas.
Her real name Danielle West. Cecile's gonna name the baby Danielle. We're not gonna have a Daniel West. We're gonna have a Danielle West. I guarantee it.
Not Dawn or Dawn.
No.
Anyway, so that's all that. Yeah, like I said, right now since I don't have cable and I have to use my digital antenna, I've been working on trying to get. I did my most recent upgrade. I don't have my channels, but I don't have all my channels yet. But they're all coming in a lot clearer. The ones I do have. So I'm trying to figure out if
spring is here.
I'm going to be able to. Yeah, I got to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I have 7.
Yeah.
And I have 2. I'm sorry. What?
Do you have?
Yeah, I have CBS.
Of course, CBS comes in. Of course, it does.
Yeah. I have CBS. I have.
Well, yeah.
I have everything except for. Right now, I have everything except for MeTV, but I know I can get MeTV back, and the CW. CW is the one. That is like the white whale out here. Signals. It's like trying to get that, and it's weird because they're not broadcast far from here. They're well within the 35-mile range that my antenna should be able to get. I've gotten them in the past, and then they just disappear again. But I'm hoping the extra $9 that was on this antenna will be the $9 that puts me over the top. That's the dream.
Happy hunting, Charlie.
Yeah. I can go next level up, although really at that $50 level, it's really just, there was one that they had that was supposed to be a 70-mile range, but it was technically an exterior antenna, and I just didn't, and it would have been the same price, but I just didn't know how that was going to hook in, where I was going to put it in the house,
Well, don't they put those all the CW stuff on the website the next day or whatever?
On the website and the app, but God, those commercials make it 2 hours long.
Do they do that if you don't have cable? Do they let you access it without
CW
cable?
let you do it without cable. I don't know about the app, but the website does.
Yeah, I think you could just go to the website for free and watch them. Yeah.
But the ads are every 5 minutes, and the ads are 7 minutes.
Because I think I had to watch something on there once or twice. Yeah, it doesn't ask you for a cable provider or anything. Yeah, no.
Okay, I know ABC did at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Or maybe I thought maybe for some content they wanted it.
I knew Disney would. I know the Disney one asked you for one, but yeah, I don't think CW does.
Yeah. But I have Hulu now, so I can actually get I can get a lot of shows now, but
just the next day.
I have to I have to see if maybe Legends is on CW. It's for live tweeting. That's what I can't do. And CBS you can't get on streaming. So really, the only thing I really need is that. And then I got to figure out who has SpongeBob. No one has SpongeBob. My kids are my one son's so upset about that.
One sound for you, arg.
Yes.
Just saying.
Ben loves his SpongeBob. What can I say? You know.
Hey, the people bottom's where it's at, man. It really is.
Yeah. Although he has no interest in the Broadway musical, SpongeBob.
Because he's a real SpongeBob fan. Good for him.
Yeah, he's like, though that's not a.
It's like none of the real fans wanted that movie or the second one, so.
Oh no, he loves the movies. There's a Broadway musical.
Yeah, I know the Broadway musical. No, I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, well, because I asked Ben, hey, would you like to go see the Broadway musical? And he was like, no. Yeah, and I got to see if Tristan really wants to go see Black Panther. I don't know if he does or not. But I know that he will want to see Venom, unfortunately, and that one I will absolutely have to take him to.
What about?
But mark my words, Venom. The Venom movie is the next Inhumans.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That is going to be just.
It's not even going to be as pretty to look at. So it's a song. Come on, it's something.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I mean, you could hold out hope because Scott Buck's not on it, right?
I think Buck has been removed from the entertainment industry for a moment, and we all rejoice.
Yeah, he's taking a sabbatical to spend more time with.
He's the one hiding
his wounds.
He's the one. He's the one really
deleting his social media.
He's the one hiding in a hut in Wakanda.
Yes. Oh boy!
Did somebody say they wanted to talk about Bendis?
Bendis. Well, yeah. That was. Thank you, Lilith. Again, nice segue. That was my theory I was talking about on super connectivity. We got the news this week. They're canceling the Supergirl comic. They're canceling Super Sons. Is this power play so Bendis has control of all the Superman corner of the DC universe?
If that is true, who the hell does Bendis think he is to even ask for it? What the hell is DC thinking about giving it to him? I'm sorry.
Well, this is DC. And
but they're more careful
with
with Superman than any other property. They're even willy-nilly with freaking Batman. They're not willy-nilly with Superman.
Yeah, they're bending over for Bendis.
They really are. This is concerning.
What it is Bendis said, I want the John Byrne deal. And they gave him the John Byrne deal.
But he's no John Byrne. No offense. He's no John Byrne.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Bendis.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is Bendis isn't going to go over to DC unless he's getting the Byrne deal, which says I can completely reboot this character middle of universe and completely rewrite everything and do whatever I want with it because I'm Brian Michael Bendis. In the same way that John Byrne was able to say,
ready for a new Rebirth 3.0, or because I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to have to reboot the whole universe because of
it's because it
seems
they're renumbering Superman. Is going back to number 1, and the rest of them that started in Rebirth with Superman aren't getting renumbered. So it's like that's going to be the only new number 1 is. Superman.
I don't like this. What kind of Svengali what kind of pictures does Bendis have on the DC execs? That's what I want to know. I'll pay him for them.
Somebody's been a bad boy.
Yeah, well, not for nothing.
This is concerning.
That's entirely possible. What I will say is
bend over for Bendis.
Yeah, well, Bendis is a name. Bendis is an iconic character. He is someone
so's Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If Adolf Hitler was writing comic books, I'm sure he could demand a lot.
I was saying, boys, don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of big guy Hitler memes if you dig deep enough on the internet. So
I think the world would have all much happier if Adolf Hitler had gotten into comics. I think the world would have been a better place.
Oh, he was an
You know.
artist, yeah, painter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, you know, that's,
Stopping artist.
you know, if he had been a better artist, it's one of those things like, you know, that if you know, if only Fidel Castro had a decent curveball,
Exactly.
you know, there would have never been a Cuban revolution. If you know, because these are guys who like failed at what they wanted to do
And got
and
angry.
then, you know, they
Took it out
got
on
well, no, then they
everybody.
went into politics. You know, like everybody else, they got into politics. You know. Failed businessmen get into politics, things go bad. You know, I mean, this is what happens. Failed
I
artists,
feel like
failed
that was a little
businessmen,
too
failed
close for
business
comfort.
leaders. Well, you know,
No.
I calls them like I sees them,
No.
and you know, when you can't succeed anywhere else, politics is where people tend to go, and
Wrong.
you know, and some people should not go into politics because it's just bad for everybody. That's my
No.
opinion. I'm allowed it.
Wrong.
Okay.
So what are we saying? So Bendis is going to run over DC like Hitler ran over Poland?
Yeah, pretty much. No.
Please don't let that be a sound drop repeated anywhere else.
You know, no. Well, here's the thing. It's entirely possible it could all work out great. But he wants to be the guy in charge of it. He wants his name on, and for what it's worth, DC is paying top dollar for that Bendis name.
They are.
And if they're going to
better
pay
deliver.
top dollar, they might as well give him the keys to the kingdom, expressly because, look, we're paying you all this. You better take over the entire super line and make it super.
Well, yeah,
You
maybe
better do this for what
maybe
we're
that's the
paying you.
thing. Maybe they gave him a big hefty paycheck, but they're like, hey, you know, we expect a ton of work out of you for this money.
Well, yeah, you know, or even just make it really amazing. He just has to make Superman the #1 book in comic books.
It's not going to happen.
Well, of course
His numbers are good, but Superman numbers are good, but it's not.
And Bendis is a
What it used to be.
Bendis is a polarizing figure. You either love him or hate him.
Yeah, and comic
I
book
know.
fans don't do well with change. This is a huge change for the direction of Superman. I'm just saying.
I know, but it's not like it's the first time that he's done this change. I guess is the secondary point. And there will be those people for whom Bendis is their Superman writer. There's a whole, you know,
Poor, lost, confused souls.
much in the same way that for me, Superman started with John Byrne.
Well, at least that's good taste, at least.
Yeah, well, I was, you know, but this is when I started, you know, and this is when I first read Superman. Really was when John Byrne took over, because I was a huge fan of John Byrne from the Fantastic Four. I don't know why he does that. And so yeah, so Bendis taking over Superman is going to be this whole thing. Although, as I was pointing out, Bendis does not have full control of all super products.
Oh yeah, he
Because
doesn't.
even though Super Sons is ending, they're coming back with a special crossover with Dynamite and Blue Falcon. Okay, apparently I'm the only one who knows who Dynamite and Blue Falcon are. As part of they're rebooting all of the Hanna-Barbera characters in the adult comic world. They are bringing in Dynamite and Blue Falcon, which I find utterly fascinating. Especially since when they've had these crossovers in the past, it appears in some of the cases where, like as it was with the Banana Splits, where the cartoon characters in the DC universe had no idea what was going on. And I'm wondering if that's sort of what it's going to be. Like, they are these fictional superheroes who've been thrust into this real world superhero universe of the Super Sons. And that might be kind of interesting to see how they interact with these characters like Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Blue Falcon being kind of a 60s Batman kind of character who is both a Batman, but also with this good nobility and a sense of goodness that I think may be lacking from our more standardized Batman since the whole Damian Wayne fiasco. And I think that might be an interesting thing to see how they approach that between these characters. I'm very excited for it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I forgot you said that, but you know what else? The one other thing they said, Superman kind of related that Bendis isn't going to touch his new Superman, I guess.
It's still a thing?
Oh,
yeah, it's still out there, right? Yeah,
it's good for that book. I'm surprised.
Well, I have been able to read it lately. In fact, because I basically right now I got to try and get my comic books out of hot, and then I got to go back to figuring out what books I'm going to read. But I loved it while I was reading it. When I had money to buy books, that was certainly a book I liked reading every week. It is a good book. It's a very interesting take. And one of the things I love about New Superman was that it is such a different world than the standard superhero universes we're living in, because it's in communist China. It is set in a very different world that is at once dystopian and utopian. That it's got this massive, it's one of these things where that massive super state that kind of exists in all the comic book universes actually has a real world counterpart in China. At the same time, there are also all these other positive aspects that you get from that massive super state that you never really get explored in something like, the regular DC universe where, Amanda Waller or Lex Luthor or whomever is, super powerful and controlling all aspects of your life and doing evil. It's a situation where, yes, the world is run by supervillains, but they also, are putting in schools and making sure kids are educated and fed on some level, that no one is starving to death, as they say. You've never heard that phrase? Under communism, nobody starves to death. Yeah. Which isn't true either. But but it is it's an interesting take. It's an interesting universe. So I understand why New Superman may be continuing. And for what it's worth, it is a superhero who is not in keeping with the standard model. And it is set in a world where the majority of people do not meet that standard model in comic books. It's not a white male universe. It is an Asian universe set in China. So it's all people of color, all Chinese people living their lives, interacting with other Chinese people. And it is the Westerners who are the weird ones, So that's cool. I can see how that can have a strong built-in interest in demographic, much in the same way that Black Panther has that interest in demographic. And then you put on top of it the fact that it's good, much like Black Panther, and you've got this $1 billion idea. And I think that's what they're going for with New Superman.
I'm just happy that Bendis is only going to mess with the American Kryptonians.
Yeah, well, he's got what he's allowed to work with, and and maybe they did that as their insurance policy,
or maybe he
doesn't
even know it exists, so he doesn't want it.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. No, actually, and now they're re-released, and that's actually not New Superman. Now it's New Superman and the Justice League of China. So they got the whole Justice League. They got their Chinese Flash. I don't know if they have a Chinese Aquaman yet. I know that when I was last reading it, they were making a lot of comments about why don't we have a Chinese Aquaman? And it's like they didn't want to invest in an Aquaman, and they were like, we need an Aquaman.
Aquaman is Aquaman for the whole world.
Exactly. The 7 seas, you get him straight.
He's He's Aquaman for the 7 seas. He's Aquaman for Atlantis. He's not Aquaman for the whole world. You surface dwellers
can
go pound salt.
Okay.
Oh man. Oh,
yeah, I'm just saying.
did everybody see the big DCEU news this week?
Which was?
Josh Whedon has left the Batgirl movie.
Is that news? Nobody cares.
Well,
Nobody...
I mean, love it or hate it. I think it was news.
Okay.
So basically, what we can say is that Batgirl will be keeping her boots on. So good.
Foot fetish reference for those of you that didn't get that.
Oh my.
Well,
I'm right there with you, Charlie.
Yeah, we know what Mr. Whedon's thing is, you know. He must have loved the Hulk, you know.
Whoa.
That's why the Hulk was in the Avengers, man. It's just gotta have the Hulk, man. Yes, but
I just think the back doesn't need to happen. Like, they need to fix the main universe first and worry about expanding later. Stop being a squirrel baby. Like, ooh, squirrel. What can we do? No, buckle. It's it.
Do you think maybe they've given up on like the other stuff and they're like, okay, let's do Batgirl, let's do Nightwing, let's do Shazam, you know, let's do the stuff maybe people aren't as familiar with.
No offense, Philip, but Shazam greater than Nightwing at this point for the movie wise. It's gonna happen. It's gonna have the Rock. So you just
fight me, little Hellfire. Oh, that should be a poll. That should be a poll. I'm doing a Twitter poll. What movie
would you be more excited for?
What are you looking more forward to, Shazam or Nightwing?
Cartoon. He has comic books. Sam ain't got nothing, man. Don't take this from him.
Not for nothing.
He doesn't get the Marvel name anymore. Like, just give the poor kid a break.
Well, I mean, is it even really going to be a Shazam movie, or is it a Black Adam movie?
Well, aren't they doing both?
A Shazam movie and a Black Adam movie.
I would wager it's much more likely to be the Black Adam movie than the Shazam movie.
The Rock seems kind of Luke Cold on it, so
yeah,
he's not as excited as once was. So
well, you know what? Maybe he's remembering when he got cast in that Scorpion King movie. You know?
I love that movie. First of all, I was hyped. I love Scorpion King. It's one of my favorite. It's a good movie.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying it ended poorly, and I mean it ended poorly, but it ended. It was not well received at the box office. Did not start the franchise that he thought it would, and he was the villain of the Mummy movie. And honestly, his character in the Mummy was just.
It was like 30 seconds. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
And the worst Mummy movie. It's just like, okay, don't get me started on that Mummy.
I don't know. You think maybe The Rock just saw the Justice League movie and which way that went, and then
I'm pretty sure because I mean I'm not saying anything, but Jason Momoa seems very disenchanted at this moment. And maybe The Rock's like, I can get out now. Get my lawyers.
And then Jumanji, that new Jumanji did so good. Maybe The Rock's like, sees where his bread is buttered.
Oh,
you know?
Jumanji was like huge.
Jumanji. Like, how many movies can you do with Kevin Hart, The Rock? How many? Cut that short sucker loose. Not for nothing. I think The Rock knows what side his bread is buttered on, which is that he makes lots of money doing humorous team ups with Kevin Hart. Because him and Kevin Hart are like they're like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, they are.
Put those two together. They are the modern day.
Oh, now they're gonna
Danny DeVito and
great job, Charlie. You should make sure you get your money on that. I guarantee you.
I'm sorry. Did you say they're going to do twins or they're going to do
twins?
They did twins, and then they did what was it? Where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant. Oh, I want to see The Rock pregnant.
Haven't we already? I feel like I've already seen a movie with him pregnant, kind of, sort of.
The Rock pregnant?
No.
No, I'm thinking of the Disney movie with his daughter. Never mind.
What was that? The Tooth Fairy or whatever?
Yeah.
He has two of those movies, but one of them with Madison Payton or whatever it is. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Anyway, but I mean, The Rock may be looking at that and going, "Do I really want to go full on supervillain?"
He must miss being a heel from his wrestling days.
He was a heel?
Yeah, he did a heel baby face turn. Or yeah. He was a heel then a baby face.
Was it
Yeah,
a work?
I mean,
was it a work or a shoot?
heel. Yes, he started off as a heel.
He started off as a heel, but he became big as a baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a face. And I'm sorry. I'm not saying he can't do a heel turn or he can't do a heel well, but that's not where his bread is buttered. His bread is buttered being the lovable giant, you know? He's the friendly giant. He's the big friendly giant.
I'm over, as much as I love The Rock, I'm over his movies. So I'm not the demographic anymore.
Yeah. Well, you know, and that's fine.
Yeah.
His demographic is people who can still smell what The Rock is cooking. You know?
His son. That's where his bread is with those twins. I have the parents with the
exactly. His bread is buttered on wacky catchphrases and being in many ways a kind of a parody of himself. Yes. He's basically gone full. He is in some ways kind of a more respectable Shatnerized. He's kind of Shatnerized at this point, where
definitely
a lot of his money comes from playing this Rock character. You know, which is again why he is sort of. It's this great convolution of comparing him to that Danny DeVito. Arnold Schwarzenegger pair up, because much in the same way that Danny DeVito is basically always Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is always Arnold Schwarzenegger in their films. I think it's easy to say Kevin Hart and The Rock are always Kevin Hart and The Rock when they're in a film. You don't see Kevin Hart go in a film and be someone other than Kevin Hart. And you almost never see The Rock do that and not be The Rock. Even when The Rock was doing Hercules, which I love that film,
which didn't do well.
It didn't do well, but I still loved it. I bought my ticket.
It was a little off, but
yeah, I'm a very forgiving audience when it comes to a lot of things. Unless the movie really drags, I'm very forgiving. And that's like, so long as I never have to think so long as you never make me realize that this film is going on too long, I'm usually very forgiving of the film. If I can watch it and it just flows right through, I'm very forgiving. But if I sit there and I'm like, where are we going? That is the kiss of death for a film for me. And so I like that. But even there, even though he's doing a much more dramatic role in that, and he is kind of Achilles in his tent sulking, kind of character, he is still in many ways also the lighthearted Rock. He is very much He is very much from the Kevin Sorbo Hercules school of Hercules there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my take. But yeah, so I don't know if he's feeling.
I don't think the Black Adam movie is going to happen, though. I think Shazam's much more likely at this point. Rock's disinterested and probably has his lawyers on speed dial trying to get him out of it.
Yeah. But what I'm going to say is I don't know if Shazam. See, I really felt he should have been Shazam. I think he would have been perfect as Shazam.
Everybody felt that way, Charlie. Everybody.
And
except for The Rock.
Well, yeah, because The Rock didn't want, because that was before let's not forget that Shazam has been like in production longer than Marvel's Captain Marvel film.
Oh, I know.
And so when it came out, The Rock hadn't established himself as the Rock character in his movies that make $1 billion every time he makes one. He was still trying to figure out who he wanted to be. And he said, well, this Black Adam character, the much more interesting, much more complex character. I'd like to do that. And then as it approaches, his entire career model has changed. And now it's like, maybe not so much I want to do that anymore.
Not like
maybe
Lilith,
that's
like Lilith said, he's calling his agent. He's probably trying to get in the MCU now.
No. I heard he has no interest in that. He's interested in other intellectual properties.
Oh, he doesn't want to be in a $1 billion movie? Okay.
I mean, he can do that on his own.
Yeah, well, yeah, not for nothing.
He doesn't need Marvel's help.
No, but I mean...
Yeah, and he doesn't want to get stuck in a Marvel contract.
Exactly. Basically, perpetuity at this point.
Yeah, well, and not for nothing, I suppose maybe that's his other thing about wanting to play the villain is you don't get stuck in the film if you're the villain, unless you're Loki. Unless you're Tom Holland, or not Tom Holland,
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. You get out like, and as sad as we all were when Killmonger gets out of his contract at the end, that's how it plays when you're a villain, man. And
after we forget about it, like they did Captain
Michael B. Jordan. I was blanking on his name. Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, spoiler alerts, he dies at the end, and Charlie's like, "Oh, we lost a great villain in the MCU." Lilith's like, "Oh, no more shirtless scenes." Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. There's plenty of shirtless scenes, just not with him.
There were so many shirtless scenes. I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but he was a great character in that, and really well written and played. It was, I'm glad that is his Marvel superhero legacy, not the Human Torch. Although it wasn't bad as the Human Torch, but it was just
that movie was so much a mess in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan deserved a better legacy in the superhero franchise universe, and he got, I think, what will go down as one of the best.
Hey, they can do a reverse though. He can go to the Fox properties now if the deal ever goes through, and they can put him in like a good X-Men movie or something. It'll be the reverse.
Yeah, or they could recast him as the Human Torch.
Do you think they want to remind people that?
No, they don't want to remind anybody.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But
like I said, I think they put Dr. Doom in the Runaways, so
Oh, Julian McMahon, yeah.
Is it season? Is it done, or what's going on with the Runaways?
Well, the first season, but
the first season ends on a cliffhanger.
Right?
Did they renew it?
It
went 10 episodes, but it doesn't resolve at the end of the 10th episode.
That doesn't mean that it won't get renewed, because Inhumans had a cliffhanger. I hear.
No, yeah. Fair enough. Although, unlike Inhumans, Runaways was actually good. Runaways was really well written and produced and acted.
And the adaptation, it's really loose, though, right? I heard that was the biggest.
Just fanboy nitpicks, basically.
No, like very almost damn near unrecognizable, like kind of thing.
I recognized all the characters. I mean, like, here's the thing. I never read Runaways. I only know the Runaways from later projects. So I know Runaways from Avengers Arena. I know Runaways from whatever the Avengers book was, where Nico and Chase go to Bacala to go kill Arcade. I know them from these other projects. I mostly know Carolina because she's dating the girl from Power Pack, and they both showed up in Avengers Academy. So that was cool.
He wears it as a badge of honor. It is not an insult.
Hey, we're all wearing that badge here.
Yeah, but no. I mean, and so from that perspective, that's where I know the Runaways from. In that level, I totally recognized every character. I totally understood who they were. I totally saw all the conflicts that I know, like, the betrayal by Wilder that happens in the books at some point. I don't know where, but I know it happens. I can see that being laid in the storyline. So it's like, for what I know about the characters, it was very good. And much like I was saying in the review of Black Panther, I like that they can lead us someplace and then violate what we expect. And that's good. That's good when they do that. Have we ever talked about the Jessica Jones trailer that dropped a little while ago?
Not here, I don't think. We might have talked about it real quick on Super Connectivity, but no, I don't think here.
Yeah. Hellcat. That's all I gotta say, man.
It's Patsy. Oh, it's just Charlie.
It's Patsy. It's Patsy. She really wants to claw your eyes out.
But yeah,
in line.
What did I say right before we were starting? I think March 8th it drops.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't finished. Maz and I haven't finished Just Punishments yet. You know, we got lazy on it, and we need to get on that. But
and last couple episodes of the Defenders coming on Capes and Lunatics sidekicks.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Defenders.
Learn from the best.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Hellcat, we've kind of established this idea of, microfiber suits that give you strength, speed, agility. The Hammer Industries knockoff by that could very much be a part of the plot line in the next season of Jessica Jones, because we do see that there is this idea that wherever they are, it's about intentionally giving people superpowers. There's the implication that Jessica's brought back from the dead. Something I've said, which is that, Project Home Base, you have to do tests on these things. You can't just do it the first time with Phil Coulson and expect this stuff to work. You have to have already brought people back from the dead to know that this works. And of course, they actually established that in the Shield series as well, where they showed that, they actually had done that, and that's how they knew that the only way it works is if you completely rewrite someone's brain. Because otherwise you go a little loopy. Unless you have Inhuman DNA, which maybe Jessica Jones has, and that may be why she gained superpowers.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying before.
It's all connected.
We talked on super connectivity. I wonder if they're gonna mess with her origin now that Bendis is gone. Bendis.
Good time.
Bendis had no control over the TV show.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the weirdest thing for me with Jessica Jones is always the fact that until Bendis rewrote the last Jessica Jones series, they had totally mommed her. And then when Bendis went back, they demommed her. And it's so weird to see her be demommed in that way to make her in line with what's on the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt that was kind of a betrayal of the character, because it's like, no, this character has actually had this growth and evolution, found purpose in her life. Why do you want to go make her belligerent drunk again?
Well, that's most Marvel DC characters. I mean, yeah, and Marvel DC character, if you're around long enough, eventually you lose.
You've done everything.
You get de-aged, or your
kids are 14 and you're 21.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Lilith.
Yeah, well,
I mean, grandkids. I told you, you adopt grandkids, not children.
But my grandbabies.
Oh. Well, actually, you know what? There's actually, that's what my friend did. Is he adopted a kid who's just aging out of foster care. So he had that kid, and it's his kid, but he was 18, and so it's an adult that he interacts with who's a little younger than him that he takes care of and sends him to college.
There you go, Lilith. Have a teenager in your house for a year, and then be like, send me letters.
Yeah, go to college.
Teenagers are the worst.
Oh, like he's born to watch the same stuff.
Babies, or you're legal enough to drink so we can drink together. That is it.
We can't adopt people who are legal to drink. That's the thing.
You're not my kid. You didn't drink enough.
You can have friends who you drink with, but you can't have a child you drink with unless you've been with them up to that point. Yeah, it's like when my kids are old enough, we can drink together. But
I don't know if Lent goes well enough. They say all it takes is 21 days to break a habit, Charlie. We're working on 40.
No, this isn't the first time I've given up alcohol for Lent. I used to do this all the time. Yeah, because that's how I could say, well, I'm not an alcoholic. Because I can give it up for 40 days.
And 40 nights.
Yeah. I don't usually drink in my sleep. But
usually.
That you know of.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that, in giving up the alcohol for that 40 days, I mean, it's rough. And and especially now, because I've got the stress of unemployment and all that kind of stuff, it's a little harder. But the fact of the matter is, I actually stopped giving up drinking for Lent because I had gotten to the point where I could just do it too easily. I wasn't.
Right.
I didn't feel like I was giving up. And that's when I started giving up anger.
Ooh.
And that, giving up anger. I like, I could go, usually, like I can go almost I don't really like feel like I need a drink. I mean, I want a drink, but I never feel like I need a drink for the 40 days. When it came to anger, it's like I barely get through Ash Wednesday before I'm like, okay, I feel. But then you have to go back, and that's the whole point, is you have to go back and try and make good. You have to go back and try and make good. And anger is very hard. Though, interestingly enough, I haven't been getting very angry lately either. And it might just be I've matured a bit. So, or maybe I'm a much more angry drunk than I thought. And I always thought I was a happy drunk, but maybe I actually, maybe that's why I kept on losing my temper all the time. Maybe. I don't know.
Keep it cool, Banner.
Okay, is there anything else to talk about?
Oh,
what do you want to talk about?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Did you see? I saw today. I guess I don't know if there was Twitter conversation back and forth between Scott Snyder, who's going to be writing Justice League soon, and Jason Aaron, who's going to be taking over.
Oh
Avengers.
yeah, Justice League and Avengers.
They're like, we should do an Avengers Justice League crossover.
No offense to those two, you're not big enough to bring back the Amalgam universe or the Versus universe. You're just not. Ain't gonna happen.
I think they just.
Well, they don't have to bring back the Amalgam universe.
No, just a straight up Justice League Avengers crossover.
Yeah, I mean, and really all they need is access to show up and cross the universes. Because actually, and it's not now. What would be cool is if they did a crossover with the Amalgam universe.
I miss the Amalgam universe.
Everyone misses the Amalgam universe. Amalgam universe was like the best thing that Marvel or DC ever came up with, and it wasn't even around that long. It was like a couple of issues, but it really hit the nail on the head because it took the best of all the worlds. And honestly, JLX with Martian Manhunter as Professor Xavier kind of crossover pastiche character, that was pretty awesome.
No Dark Claw or Bruce Wayne Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, Bruce Wayne Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was great, and so was Dark Claw, yeah. And actually, my favorite line in Dark Claw was when he's talking about the jackal or the hyena, the cross between the Joker and Sabretooth, and I just love that line. It's like they were trying to create a living weapon. But what most people don't think about a living weapon is that most guns can't decide to just get up and start shooting people. You make a living weapon, you can't control it, and that's what happened with hyena. Yeah, so that's cool. Any of the Amalgam characters would be great. Super Soldier, I love Super Soldier. Super Soldier was fantastic. Spider Boy, I think everyone loved Spider Boy with Uncle Jen, who taught him that General Ross was his adoptive uncle, and it was cool.
And Speed Demon with the Flash and Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
that should be a movie. I'd pay now. That's how we get a Ghost Rider movie done right.
Yeah.
What, add DC to it? How's that going to get?
No. Just that character was great.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they were all great characters, and unfortunately, as things happen, they got
Things fell apart.
It was what it was untenable to start because they had to share, and Marvel and DC don't like to share.
The big two, they don't have to.
Well, exactly, and they can do it occasionally, but they can't do it for a long time. It's just sad that they never went back to it. That's what's sad. But then the rights were always an issue.
You would think they would go back to that just because there's money to be made for both of them.
Yeah, but you know what it is.
I mean, they're all going all nostalgic now, so you would think they would. Maybe
you'd think
about it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they are. And who knows? Maybe that's what that spontaneous Twitter conversation was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they don't need to be big enough to bring back the Amalgam universe. If someone told you, hey, we're going to bring back the Amalgam universe, you guys start the hype. So then they can say, apparently the fans demanded it.
I mean, do a yearly Justice League Avengers crossover, just like the Justice League did with the Justice Society back in the day.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, that was one of the things about the most recent Reality Stone thing with Captain Marvel. And it turned out all the Captain Marvels found Reality Stones in each different reality. And Phil, I know you read Captain Marvel. Did you see who one of the Captain Marvels was?
Was this in the last issue of Captain Marvel? Because
in the last issue of Captain
I'm trying
Marvel.
to remember because the next one's coming out next week, so it's probably been like a month. Who was it?
Well, they altered the color scheme of it. But it was a superhero with a design reminiscent of Captain Marvel of the original Captain. It was Captain Marvel in a blue costume, basically. Basically, it was Captain Marvel Jr. But it was there was this idea that they decided that they were going to have another Captain Marvel in there. It was all the Captain Marvels have all the Reality Stones from multiple universes, and one of them was that. And so, if you're going to be looking at it from that perspective of crossing over, that is certainly a perspective. It's sort of like sometimes when they do these kind of pastiches and crossovers, it's like, when they had the Quantum Superman instead of Dr. Manhattan in the, army of Supermen brought together at the end of that, whichever crisis that was, Final Crisis, Next to Last Crisis, Final Crisis Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. They do that all the time where they'll have a character like that. And then someone decides they can bring him back, and that's why, possibly it's going to be revealed that actually was Dr. Manhattan the whole time. And that's when he started screwing with the DC universe.
They don't want you to remember how many times they've refreshed the brand, so I doubt that.
Yeah. And of course, Marvel's refreshing again. And
Marvel has been refreshing more frequently. It's like that episode of Futurama. At this rate, Thursday will be the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not even 6 months into Legacy, and they're already talking about rebooting a lot of their books.
Yeah, but they're not rebooting anything.
Use the correct terminology.
I know, but I thought we at least used to get like a year or two. Now it's not even like 6 months. They're already talking about. I'm just wondering if this is like a big hey, it's in the era of, hey, Bendis is gone. Did you not like Bendis? Come back.
Low key, that's probably what it is.
Because I mean, last issue of Defenders came out this week, so is it just like the era of Bendis is almost gone? Because I think there's only a couple more issues of his Iron Man coming out.
Yeah. Oh well. I'm sure someone will miss him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure he has his fans.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
But so Lilith, did you read any interesting comics?
Not really. Everything's been mediocre lately. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like, I'm kind of over. Like I told you, Dark Horse wasn't really anything this week, and Image wasn't really anything this week. The big two are utterly disappointing.
You didn't read Doctor Strange Damnation?
I told you I was gonna let you read it and let me know how it went.
There's potential there. Doctor Strange.
Okay, nope. We're kicking it old school, world's finest style.
No spoilers. Out of 5. I'll give it a 4. I mean, it's kind of set up for the rest of it, and there are it's spinning out into Doctor Strange and Scarlet Spider, and there's like a Ghost Rider one shot.
Buy those books.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd have to buy those.
I don't know, but no, Doctor Strange.
Well, one book commitment here, Philip.
Doctor Strange decides, hey, let me just, I'm back as Sorcerer Supreme. Let me just resurrect the whole city of Las Vegas. And of course, that does 2 seconds later, poop hits the fan.
Well, I do like to see Doctor Strange being the captain of bad decisions.
Oh, then you need to pick up this issue.
It's better than Tony Stark being captain of poor life decisions. So yeah, I might just pick it up. I'll see how it goes.
Mephisto.
I haven't read anything yet. In fact, the only new book I've read recently is Gwenpool.
Of course.
Last episode, I think, last issue comes out next week. That's when we get the big reveal. She's really Valerie Vector. Bum, bum, bum. Maybe.
And if that
I don't
doesn't
know.
happen, will you be sad?
Yeah.
She won't stay dead for long. Don't worry. No comic book character does, unless you're Barry
Well,
Allen.
no, and in fact, I'm sure that's going to be one of the points that they make in it. Was that, oh, don't, because the whole idea is that she's worried that her book is ending and she doesn't know what's going to happen to her when her book's end. And more to the point, in the last issue, she was like, started to get really sad because she's like, what happens to all of my supporting cast? Because she realized that Batroc is going to go on, but Batroc's not going to be the kind of cool mentor character that he's going to, someone's going to make him into either a third string joke or they're going to make him more evil. He's not going to be this really neat way that Batroc was in her book. And she felt bad about that Batroc wasn't going to be her Batroc anymore, that he's not going to be who anymore. And it was beautiful and sad and poignant. It was nice. And then
Ain't nobody got
we're
time
gonna
for
see what happens.
in comic books, Charlie. Like, that just sounds crazy.
No, man, all comic books are existential crises, man. That's the whole point. That's what Howard the Duck taught us, is that,
No, yes, Howard the Duck is definitely a study in an existential crisis for sure.
it is, man, and like Howard said to Deadpool, he was Deadpool before Deadpool was Deadpool, that, people are manipulating our universe. We are but pawns in this game. Get used to it. And yeah. And that's all there is to it.
Oh, but Charlie, when you when you get the chance, I know you're going to want to read Thor.
Mhm.
74.
I'm sure I will.
Big
I'm
setup.
sure I will. As soon as like I said, I've had a really busy week this week with trying to find a job, So we're working on it.
So if you have any openings for a male model, please contact Charlie Esser at Charlie Esser.
Male model who's comfortable in spandex.
I'm comfortable in anything.
And nude if it's
I'm very comfortable.
If it's tasteful.
and
It
intrinsic
doesn't have to be tasteful.
plot. Yes.
I mean, really, it doesn't have to be tasteful. I mean, why? What's the point of that? Okay.
Yeah. Shameless plugs, Philip.
Oh, just look at her. She's like, I don't even want to talk any DC.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
That's it. Mediocre.
All right, that's fine. All right, everyone. If you want to discuss anything with us, send us stuff you want us to talk about. Capes and Lunatics at gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter at Capes Lunatics. And the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, subscribe. Well, you've already subscribed to the Capes and Lunatics podcast. If you're listening to this, subscribe to the Capes and Lunatics sidekicks.
So you can get Newcastle Crew, Wade's World, Charlie's mini Marvel Netflix show reviews.
And who podcast The Watchmen.
Yes.
Who podcasts? Who does podcast The Watchmen?
Me
Tyler and Philip, of course.
Oh, well, there we go. So there's the
Beautiful
answer.
segue. All right. Lilith, where can people find you before you leave the country?
Yeah, Twitter's international. You can still fight me at Lilith Huffire any time of the day. For everything else, at Adventures in FG. At Adventures in FG is on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. So,
And of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way the way our Maz and Paz once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatever else I can get on my antennas at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieESSER. Click the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
All right. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll be live again next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So come see what we come up with and how we can bash Bendis.
everybody knows it's probably going to be more like 7:10, but it's okay.
That's okay. Just hang out for a while.
Oh,
Let the
Lilith.
commercials play.
Lilith, you're gonna take the blame, man. You're the only drunk right now, so.
I'm not drunk yet. That's why I'm rushing you off.
That's why she's rushing us to get done.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Hang on, Florida liquor stores. Lilith is on her way. But until next week, we have been the Capes.
Ampersand.
The Lunatics.
Okay. I was going to say, what finger was that? Okay. Bring back amalgam. Bring back amalgam. Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 796. Looks like Peter and Mary Jane might be getting back together. Bring the marriage back.
Yeah, we would all love that.
And anyone read the new Batman? Poison Ivy has mind controlled the whole world. The only two people not affected, Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah. Any particular reason why?
They haven't revealed yet.
Oh.
Because love conquers all.
But there's my 10-second DT review. Take that, Lilith.